All right. At least I can now see my picture, my screen, and some kind of uh, signals that my sound might be coming through. I'm not sure if I'm live yet. Good. 1 minute to go. So perfect. Thank you, Ronan. So I'm live. Hello. Let's wait a bit, just a bit, to start at the exact time. I'm Finnish and Finns are always on time. So not a minute early, not a minute late, on time. And this will probably give a bit of pressure to also end my presentation on time. So let's see how I'll do. All right. It's actually 5 o'clock for me, but 4 o'clock for probably most of you. Greetings from Helsinki, Finland. It's a bit snowy and icy, and as you see, also very dark in here. Thank you for taking the time to be here today and participating in my presentation. The last but not least presentation before the closing session. So I hope you're not too tired yet to still focus on 30 minutes on a very, very interesting, I hope very interesting topic. So let's jump into the topic because I have some slides and demo to share with you to make sure we also end on time. So I'm gonna talk about server-side tracking and how you as a Matomo user can do that also without Google's infrastructure. This is one of the most commonly asked questions or mentioned things that people say that, oh, I didn't know that you can do server-side tracking without Google Tag Manager. So I'm here to debunk that myth today. I muted myself, but I'm back. I tried to change the slide. All right. So this is basically the agenda. I'm going to do a quick introduction on who am I and what is Lotion. Then we're going to talk a bit about server-side tracking, even though I think everyone here is more or less analytics and tracking professional. But just to ensure that we are all on the same page on this topic. Also discuss a bit who benefits from server-side tracking and why this should be an interest of yours. And then last but not least, I'm going to do a demo and I'm going to actually show you how to configure server-side tracking with using Matomo Tag Manager and Lotion. I will be able to see the chat here as well. I try to look into it every now and then. So if you have any burning questions, feel free to write them in the chat. I try to grab them if possible. And at least at the end of the presentation, I try to end a bit earlier actually so that we have time if there is any potential questions. Let's see if I manage to change the slide now without muting myself. All right. So my name is Anni Salo. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Lotion, and Lotion is a plug-and-play server-side tracking tool for marketing and analytics professionals. I myself have over a decade of experience in doing paid ads and conversion tracking and web analytics, and I have been managing also big ad budgets on the advertiser side in the consumer business. Why I'm doing what I'm doing now is basically because I'm obsessed with helping marketers in fixing their bad data flow so that you can use better data to scale your paid advertising confidently. And tracking issues usually come with a lot of headaches. So I also want to take that headache away. And yeah, this is why we have actually built Lotion. The reason for me to be here today is that there is typically a reason why you're using Matomo, and one of the things might be that you cannot or you don't want to use Google's tools. So my idea today is to spread the awareness of how you can use alternative ways if you want to still do server-side tracking for your business or for your projects while using Matomo Tag Manager and without using Google's infrastructure. I guess that's all about me. I have my contact details, everything in the last slide, so then you can get in touch with me later if you have anything after this. Few words about Lotion. So as I already said, we are a server-side tracking tool that is plug and play. So we want to take the tracking headache away and give you kind of like easy to use yet very powerful solution to do conversion tracking. We are built and hosted in the EU. So we are designed and built here in Finland and hosted in AWS in Stockholm, actually, with also configurable other locations. So basically what you get with Lotion, you get fully transparent and privacy safe data flows and highly accurate conversion tracking that helps your marketing to perform better. Without relying on GTM. So actually quite often people think that our tool is built on top of Google Tag Manager, and that is not the case. As said, we are plug and play, and I'm going to show it today so you don't need developers or like constant maintenance and whatever technical work related to actually run your own server-side tracking infrastructure. And of course, at the same time, we want to provide the privacy and transparency tools for marketers. So everything that comes in to Lotion server-side tracking is fully visible to the users, and everything that goes out to marketing platforms is fully visible, which is naturally like, for example, one of the cornerstones of GDPR, know what you collect, how you handle the data, and where you deliver that data. But that's like, this is not supposed to be a sales presentation, so this is just one slide about this topic, and off we go forward. On to the next topic. So just a bit about server-side to ensure that we are all on the same page with things. So I'm gonna go through what is server-side tracking, for who it is meant to, and why you should be interested in that topic. I have this visualization of kind of comparison between browser side and server side tracking. And I usually start with the browser side because this is something that most of the people are very familiar with. So, and this is a dear child that has many names, whether it's browser side or client side or tracking pixels, however you want to call them. I personally like to use a browser side because it gives nice contrast to server side. And I think this is very descriptive. So as you can see in this picture, basically I have a website here, whether it's e-commerce or whatever lead generation website or other website you might have. And all the tracking that happens there happens on the browser side, which means that it relies on the browser and on the user's device to load all these things that you are trying to load during the user is using your website. And well, what are the things that we try to load? Analytics scripts, then if we do, let's say we do Google ads, we do Meta ads, TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest, whatever, all these platforms require, or well, maybe not 100% require, but it's very much recommended to implement the tracking pixels to your sites to actually get some power out from your marketing activities. All these pixels have to be separately implemented to the site and then loaded during the website session, meaning that there are quite many different JavaScript snippets that have to be loaded in the user's browser or like phone during they are using your websites. And oopsie, I clicked a bit too fast. And the kind of the purpose for these pixels or browser side tags is to deliver information to the ad platforms. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but I'm trying to point things with my mouse. So the idea of all these pixels is to deliver information to these ad platforms, because it's the ad platforms who are doing the magic on deciding like who to show your ads so that you actually can get any result out of. I think we all, if we have been working with paid ads for multiple years, we can see definitely the trend that there are less and less opportunities for us as marketers to, handpick the clients and manually adjust things. And there is more and more power in the ad platforms, algorithms, and so to say, black boxes to decide how they show the ads and who are your target audience. Which means that, well, if we all are probably somewhat technical here, so I guess we all know the basics of how algorithms work. That algorithms, for them to work, they need to have data. And basically, what is the quality of data you give to the algorithm is what you get out from the algorithm. So that's why it's super important to implement these pixels or implement some kind of conversion tracking and deliver this data back to the ad platforms that you are running campaign in. But when we talk about browser side tracking, there are multiple issues. Like maybe 10 years ago, it was a lot simpler and easier to implement the pixels and everything works and that's it. But there is like increasing amount of different kind of issues on using the browser side tracking. Well, first of all, tracking restrictions. I think everyone who has been running ads, when was it, like 4 years ago, when iOS devices were updated with the, I don't remember what was the ITP, like intelligent tracking prevention version. At least for me, I was back then running quite big budgets in meta ads, and almost overnight my conversion data halved because iOS devices were updated to this new tracking prevention, which basically dropped all my data, and my performance was just like going down like crazy, almost like Christ. So there is increasing amount of different like um, uh, restrictions set by the devices and browsers, like privacy browsing and stuff like that are set by the users or set by the device manufacturers or OS providers and so. Then, of course, at the same time, the sessions are getting more and more complex. I think everyone here can see that, like the purchase journeys, they are not just so simple that you just come and then you buy immediately. But there is typically like multiple visits, and you come from ads today, and then you come directly after a few days, and then you come directly after 2 weeks, so by a organic result, and then the purchase happens. So it's very difficult to tie these sessions together, also related to all these tracking preventions. For example, limited cookie lifetime, which makes us that we cannot recognize returning users that easy. Of course, people are using different kind of other types of tracking preventions, like ad blockers with an increasing rate. Depends a bit country by country what is the kind of popularity of this type of techniques. Some VPN connections are even blocking, like kind of setting ad blocker as well. Also, some antivirus softwares are actually also setting ad blockers, which then prevent these scripts to be loaded in the browser. Not to mention increased mobile usage. Mobile connections are typically a bit lower, or you're using Wi-Fi's, which are slower, meaning that if you have 15 different pixels that should be loaded in your thank you page to tell all the ad platforms that there was a sale, it's like there's simply not enough time before the client is closing or the user who just bought is closing the thank you page, which means that your ad platform will be blind and missing the sales, meaning that your algorithm is trying to find users who will buy from you, and you're missing, let's say, half of the data from the ad platforms. How the algorithm can work efficiently if it's missing, let's say, half of the data? Not to even mention the kind of black box that this is. You basically implement it, it will be executed in the user's browser. You will not know if it was successful or not, if it failed, why it failed, or what kind of data it is collecting from your website. There's been some GDPR fines, at least in Finland and Sweden, where these tracking pixels got like uncontrolled access, and they were gathering more data that the company was aware of. And this is, of course, a problem from the GDPR perspective. When we talk about server-side tracking, the idea is that instead of relying on the user's browser to execute all this hassle that I just explained, the actions happening on your website are collected to server-side environment. The processing is handled on the server side, meaning that it's not like taking resources and making it slower for the user while they are using your e-com store or whatever website, because all the load is done on the server, which is running under the hood of your webs. From the regulatory perspective, this is also super transparent. You have always full visibility and full control into what is being collected to your server and what is being forwarded to the ad platforms from your server. So you know what you collect, how you process the data, and what data you deliver forward. Many companies out there also have some kind of offline elements or enrichment they would like to do with this data. So not all information is always available during the website session. For example, you collect leads. The salesperson is calling the prospect and making qualification. And after that, we know if it was a good lead or not. In a browser-side environment, it is impossible to track and tell these signals back to your ad platforms. But with server-side tracking, you can keep the lead in the server and wait until it's qualified and only send signals of qualified lead forward so that the algorithms are learning with better data. This was crash course to server-side tracking. Cool benefits from server-side tracking. There are multiple different viewpoints to it. First of all, companies that are seeking for better ad performance. If you run ads, but you are not delivering good data to the marketing algorithms, your marketing or ad performance is not as good what it could be with good data. I have examples of that in the next slide. Companies that are seeking for better compliance. Server-side tracking, as I also explained before, it gives you full transparency on what is being tracked, how the data is being processed, and what is being delivered forward. It gives you full control on what you want to share with third parties. If some authority is coming to ask you, okay, what are you tracking? How is your tracking works? What data you collect? You can show exactly. I collect this data. I handle it this way. I may be removing some data, whatever, enriching some data, and I deliver this data full. So it's crystal clear. You cannot say I didn't know. Companies that need to track things that are happening offline. So collecting leads, what happens to the leads after that? Or even like it might be fully online business, but you have a trial period or some kind of handling period. It might take 2 weeks until the sale is finished or fulfilled. And in the traditional browser side environment, it gets broken quite easily. Because, for example, cookies are limited to 7 days in iOS device. Yeah, actually, companies who can't use GTM, they still can use server-side tracking. So server-side tracking is not GTM. You can run server-side without Google's infrastructure as well. Just a few examples why this should be interesting for you, especially if you are running any paid ads. I have uploaded my presentation to the schedule, like the MatomoCamp page, so you can download it and revisit this and the entire presentation overall. But here are just few examples of different type of it. A bit bigger companies, a bit smaller companies, e-commerce, subscription and service businesses, and all of them have seen massive like business changing results in their paid ads after improving their data flow to their marketing algorithms. I'm going to go to the most interesting thing next. I hope you're still following how to implement server-side with Matomo Tag Manager, and I'm using Lotion in this case. What do you need to get started? You need a website. And if your conversions happen offline, you might also want to have ability to send webhooks or send pings from that system, CRM system, or whatever backend system you use. Then you need to have Matomo Tag Manager, like just the basic setup that you probably already have in place, including the triggers and the variables you need for your tracking setup. Also, you need the Lotion account, which I will show how it will be done. And of course, it's always good to have a little plan on what you actually want to track and what you want to achieve. I have a little demo preset here, and I'm going to walk you through on few things. How to create a server container in Lotion, how you can configure tracking events from your website to the server container, and how from the server container you can send data to ad platforms. I'm gonna exit my presentation and go to the demo. No, I think I just need to stop sharing for a while and share again just to share the entire window. All right, I think we are back with the screen. So, just a moment, I get my demo plan so I don't forget what I'm supposed to do. All right. So basically, I'm in Lotion, and here anyone can use the platform as self-service. So if you want to do server-side tracking immediately after this, you can do it. Just go to the website and put your website address here, and you will get started. So you need to create an account, and you get the free trial, so you can just try it out, no strings attached. I have prepared a demo account. I need to see that I'm showing the right, that it looks good. So I have already done some preparations because I know we will be short on time. I did some preparations. I have a test site, which is called trackserverside.com. It's like imaginary e-commerce platform. Oh, I have some Matomo Tag Manager there as well. So I have made this, but basically just to make a new one, how to create server container in Lotion. You just put your URL and create the container, which I have done here. What I want to do now is that I want to do the installation. So I have created my server container now, and I'm able to access it. Now I have some demo stuff here already because I was practicing. But after that, I want to configure the sending of events from my Matomo Tag Manager. you can just use the custom HTML. Don't get scared. It says Google Tag Manager. I think it should just be changed to Tag Manager, custom HTML. It's the same thing in Matomo Tag Manager. So what I will do, I will implement the main script and the page view script and go to my Matomo Tag Manager. You can see I have some triggers, presets, some variables, and I will just create a new tag, which is custom HTML. And I will just put track Lotion main, and I will put the script here and load it on the head start and trigger it with HView. And you get the idea. So the same way you can implement purchase event, add to cart event, and so forth. To save time, I'm not gonna do it now. I'm just gonna put this one live and use a bit of shortcut. So this is now published and live in my test store, which is here, and we should be able to see it. Also, when I just refresh the page, and we should see signals here. Yes, basically. So this is my own session that I just started. I'm going to use a shortcut. We have automatic data reading capabilities. So just to be able to finish the demo for you, I'm going to just implement the events here. But of course, if you want to like very closely control what you track and what are the variables and so forth, you can implement them in Tag Manager with the custom HTML. But this is like a very quick way just to enable the automatic reading from the data layer. And basically now I still have this one and this one. I don't think I need them. I'm just gonna do a little this here. So I add my product to cart and then go and do the purchase. We should be able to proceed to checkout. All right, so now I had already implemented some events and we should be able to see them here. So as you saw, page views, add to cart, and beginning the checkout. And the same way happens when I go down to the purchase and so forth. So I'm now sending events to my server container. And from here, we want to use, let's say, Meta Conversion API to send this data server side to Meta. What I will do, I need my Meta Pixel ID and access token. I will get them from Meta. I will just create access token. This is a demo account, so don't worry. Put it live and send. Meta Conversion API is activated. And the next activity that happens, we will, from this forward, send to the Meta's Conversion API. What I did before this is that I also enabled the DNS settings. So this is actually like the tracking script that is monitoring the website is loaded under my own domain in first party context. That's about it. This was very short demo. If you have any questions on this topic or how to do it, or I forgot to mention something, let me know. I think we have 2 minutes for questions.
Thank you very much, Anni, for your presentation. I'm currently looking at the chat. I cannot see any questions yet. Do you have any questions in the meantime that you would have expect people to ask you so that I can have somehow at least one question?
I will just quickly. So basically, server-side tracking for any kind of platform can be this easy, and also without the Google's infrastructure, like I showed. Of course, you can contact later if there is anything in your mind. But yeah, I very much recommend at least trying it out, looking into server-side tracking if you're doing any paid acquisition, because yeah, it can affect to your, or it will affect to your profitability big time. If you have any questions later, here's my email, my LinkedIn. Let me know how I did, so I can make my presentation better for the next time.
That was great. Thank you very much, Annie, for your
Thank you.
time and as well the participation through your name to the from the Lotion company. And yeah, thank you so much, and looking forward maybe for next edition at MatomoCamp 2026. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so much. See you later.